So, okay, so far as employment and stuff like that, where you at right now, as far as that is concerned?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
I said, as far as employment right now, where are you at right now, as far as that?
I'm still looking and applying for jobs. Unfortunately, with me being from place to place and not knowing what my next night is going to be, it's very difficult. I now don't have transportation to get to and from. So, you know, I'm trying to take the first thing that comes along and figure the rest out later because I need to have an income. You know, I do have another child, plus my daughter that I'm not going to stop supporting because we're not getting along. So,
right. Have you ever had to apply for public assistance, food stamps and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. And did they question? You know, of course they questioned. You know where he was at, of course. Correct.
Yes, they did. And each year, you know, like I said, I had to refile, and they could look in the system to see that those documents had been filed yet again.
Right.
You know, unfortunately.
Hello, Tabatha. Hello, Tab. Is she still there? Tab.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you know, when you have children with someone, nowadays, you know, if you don't know how to track them down, you're just out of luck.
Right.
You know, because they have that option, and that's an option that mothers don't have.
Right.
And that's not fair to the mother, and it's definitely not fair to the child because the child needs both parents.
Right. Just in case, I'm speaking to the listener, just in case if you're just tuning in, FLOempireradio.com, this is the Judge Zoe Show. I have this is an exclusive interview with the daughter's mother of rapper Raekwon from Wu-TangClan. And if you missed it, she revealed that he owed back child support. He's never been in his daughter's life for a long period of time. She revealed that when they first met, and she revealed that she was pregnant with his child, he then told her that he was in another relationship. So just want to catch you up real quick. So what is your purpose of telling your story right now? How come you never came out and told your story, you know, earlier, sooner? Hello? Tabatha?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. So what I was asking is, how come you never told your story before? How come why you wait till now to want to tell your story?
I never wanted to hurt my daughter. I never wanted my daughter to hear negative things about her father.
Okay.
However, you know, after being a parent this long and seeing how not being able to co-parent, not being able to get along with the other person has ripped my family apart, I don't want to see that happen to anybody else's family.
Right.
I don't want to see anybody lose the most precious thing to them because nobody can get along.
Right.
You know, I don't want young girls to go out here and think that because his watch is $500 or he's able to take you a place you've never been, that he's the perfect guy to have a child with. No, he's not.
Right.
You know, when you bring kids into this world, you need to be serious about bringing them here.
Right.
And you need to know, as a mother, you don't have options.
Right.
As a father, he does. He can choose when he wants to be in the child's life, and that's not fair.
Right.
That's not fair to the child.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
I feel as though I've cheated my daughter out of having a good father. I've cheated my son out of having a good father.
When y'all was together, was he a good man? You know, was he a good man in the relationship? Like,
he was all right.
Okay.
You know, he was all right.
Was there any kind of abuse going on in the relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
No.
No.
No, absolutely not. No.
So no physical, emotional, verbal, none of that type of stuff going on in a relationship.
No.
Wow. And have you ever, when y'all was together, have you ever toured, like go on tour with him, or went to different venues with him?
No. Like I said, when we met, I was 18 years old.
Oh, okay. So, and how old was he then?
I later found out that he was 25 and not 22 as he had told me.
God.
So, no, we didn't. I was still in school. I was only able to go up on the weekends.
Wow. 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 So, what's your message to young girls today who see rappers and celebrities, out there, and they're thinking of getting with that dude? What advice would you give them?
Don't. Unless he's trying to marry you, I would not. I would not have any children with anyone who is of celebrity status. That's just me. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I love my daughter, but I would not. Okay. Because just because they're a celebrity does not mean that they're going to do what's right. I waited 8 years before my daughter was able to ever see him in person.
Right. And
he was ever able to see her in person. Right. Before I ever got a dime for Pampers, wipes, clothes, and I still haven't got it. So I would not think that everything is great and glory because he's on your television screen.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Right.
That doesn't make up the caliber of man that you're dealing with and the character of that man.
Right.
Who you see on stage is not always who's behind stage.
Right. Right. When y'all was together, did he buy you things? Did he splurge on you?
No.
He didn't.
No, it was a very short time. It wasn't even 6 months. So.
Oh, wow. Whew. Wow. Okay, so where do you go from here? Like, what would you like to come out of you telling your story now?
I feel for these kids more than anything, more than I feel for any other situation, because it's the kids who hurt.
Okay.
The kids hurt more than the mothers do sometimes, and I think really the mothers kind of hurt double because they feel the kids' pain and their own pain. So, if I could crusade for these kids or to bring the families together, you don't have to live together, you don't have to love each other,
right? But
do what's right for the kids.
Kids, right? Right.
Because these kids are no longer going to stay kids, or they're not going to be kids forever.
Right.
They're going to turn around to be adults. And you don't want them screwed up as adults, and they're already screwed up as a child.
Right. Now to your knowledge, how many kids he have?
Including mine, 3.
3. And the two youngest is by this current lady that he's with?
Yeah, I'm not sure of their status in the relationship anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of up and down. I don't ask. I don't care.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't care. My concern is my daughter. As long as, my child is okay, what they choose to do is their business. I thought she was a very lovely young lady, and I felt as though he was lucky to have her until she stepped out of bounds. Right. When she stepped out of bounds, that's when I had a problem with it.
Right. So, I promoted this really hard, this interview, and I mean, I don't know. The internet, social media is very magical. You never know who's listening right now. If your daughter is listening. Hello. Can you hear me? Tabatha?
Hello?
Tab?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me, Tab?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello? I can hear you, Tab. Hello?
Hello?
Tabatha?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. So no, what I was saying is, social media is very magical. You never know, and I promoted this interview hard, so you never know who's listening. If by any chance your daughter hears this, what would you like to say to your daughter? What would you want to say to her and her to know right now?
To my daughter?
Yeah. Just in case if she's listening, or a friend or of hers is listening, what would you want her to know, to say?
I would want her to know that I'm proud of her.
Mm-hmm.
I raised a very lovely, lovely young lady. And that somehow, maybe we'll be able to talk or work this out. Maybe not. Mm-hmm. If not, I'll take the blame as I always do, because I'm taking it for her.
Right.
And that I love her very, very much.
Right. Can I ask you why she's mad? Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm sorry.
I
talk
know.
about my babies. That's my life.
I know.
That's my heart.
I know. I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain.
She's angry because, the situation had come up whenever she got ready to go to Georgia about her staying with the other baby mama.
Okay.
And I said no.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to know why.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though I don't owe you an explanation as to why. No is no.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't okay with it because I don't feel as though this young lady is fit to raise my daughter. Even though she's 17 and almost an adult, you're still an example in front of my impressionable child.
Right.
And I did not want her raising my child.
Right.
Especially if you can't keep your mouth shut about me.
Right.
If you have personal feelings towards me, fine. But you leave that to your pillow talk conversation with him. You don't say anything about me to my daughter. So his other kid's mother would talk real ratchetness about you towards your daughter. I mean, in front of your daughter or at your daughter. Apparently, some things had transpired or had been said while my daughter was there, left in her care without my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So when I caught wind of that, if you're a mother, you know your kids,
right?
And you know what your kids will say and what they won't say. You can never say what they, will never do,
right.
But you know what your kids will and won't say,
right?
And so when I started hearing the same words coming from the girl out of my daughter's mouth, I had a problem with that,
right?
And when I didn't go to her, because see, you're not my chick,
right?
You're not my kid's mother. I don't have to have a relationship with you,
right?
That's optional,
right?
I went to him, and when I went to him, I might as well have went to Big Bird off Sesame Street, because it was like talking to a character.
Okay. I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
He had a problem with the fact that I had a problem with what was being said.
Right.
And, I explained to him, I get where you're coming from. I don't know what you're trying to prove to her or to whoever. You've done this before. Who cares? Your love for her has nothing to do with my daughter. Right. I don't want her staying here to go to school.
Right.
I picked my child up. She was dressed inappropriately for a young lady. Things that were coming out of her mouth, her attitude. My daughter's never been disrespectful, and now all of a sudden you're popping off at the mouth, snapping your neck and rolling your eyes and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm from the backwoods country. We don't do that.
Right. I feel you.
We just don't do that. So when I saw the behavior change and looked at the atmosphere, no, you're not suitable enough. You're cool to come and visit. Hey, how you doing?
Right.
But you're not suitable enough to have my child in your care for school or anything else.
Right.
And so that's where the argument came in, because his other two children are there. And, you know, he said, the kids need to be together. I agree.
Right.
But that's not the situation, because you didn't have them all by the same woman.
Right.
You raise your kids over there how you want. If that's okay with you guys, then that's okay. It's not okay with me.
Right. No, I totally
and so
get it.
That's where it started, because she wanted to stay there, because she gets to do what she wants to do there. Nobody works.
Right.
Nobody does anything constructive. You know, everybody's sitting around because they're living off of him.
Right.
See, at Mom's, nobody's living off of him.
Okay.
We actually get up and wash dishes in Mom's house.
Okay.
We clean rooms in Mom's house. We don't get new furniture and go get our hair done every week.
Wow.
So that's where the argument came in. That's what she's upset about.
Okay.
That's what the argument has consistently been for the last couple of months, is that I didn't approve in her being there.
Okay.
For school. The most recent event, you know, is just, I would never stop him from seeing his child or stop her from seeing him.
Okay.
Because no matter how much we don't get along, that's still his daughter, that's still her father.
Right.
At the same time, you're not the custodial parent. You don't make the rules. I do.
Right.
And if you have a problem with one of my rules, then talk to me about it. And I'm still going to make the same rule, because you don't think like a parent.
Right.
You think like a child, so I can't base anything off of what you say.
Right.
And so she was really upset about it. She didn't speak to me for a couple of weeks. And again, you can ask anyone who knows my daughter. That's not the type of young lady that I've raised.
Right.
When people say, oh, yeah, your kids are going to try you, mine never has until now.
Right.
Never. Never been disrespectful. Never went 2 weeks without speaking to me. Never talked to me any kind of way. Never was dressed like a whore.
Wow.
So you have to, you know, understand, at least I thought somebody with common sense would understand why I was angry. His brother and his sister-in-law were the only two in that group
that understood
where I was coming from, and that was willing to abide by the rules.
Right.
And they also raise children.
Right.
And they're, you know, full-time parents. There's a difference between being a seasonal parent and a full-time parent.
Right.
Seasonal, I can rent you, and when I'm done with you, I'll put you back where I got you from.
Right.
But a full-time parent, you're a parent when you're asleep. You're a parent when you're awake. You're a parent when you're at work. You don't get a day off from being a parent.
Right. So, real quick before we go, when was the last time you spoke to your daughter?
It's been about 2 weeks now.
Okay. And when was the last time that you actually spoke to Raekwon?
Since August, since we had the knockdown, drag-out fight. So.
You had a fist fight?
It came to something that was very, very close to being. It was physical, but it was not physical. Wow. You know, there was people around to stop that or prevent that from going on.
Okay. Wow. Well, Tabby, I want to thank you. I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes because we ran out of time. But okay. I want to thank you for calling in, telling your story. I wish you so much luck and blessing in all your endeavors. You know, you find employment, a place to stay. I wish you so much luck and blessing.
Thank you.
And
thank you
like,
very much.
It really pains me to hear that you went through all of that. You know, no parent, no woman should not go through all that ordeal. So I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes, though. So
okay.
I want to thank you for just telling your story, and it takes a strong woman to tell their story to, you know, thousands and millions of people. So
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. So thank you for the interview, and we're gonna talk behind the scenes, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Okay, everybody. FLOEmpireRadio.com. That was an exclusive interview with Raekwon from the Wu-TangClan, baby mother. If you missed part of this interview, you can always go to FLOEmpireRadio.com and download the podcast. And while you're there, you can listen to all the other interviews from my show and some of, you know, the other jocks that's on the station. You can listen to their shows as well. I want to thank King for being here. I want to thank super producer Dave, aka Slims. My beautiful, wow, I'm just all shaking up now. Like, Shorty Blade on the boards. I want to thank her for doing a phenomenal job. We gotta go. We got a new show coming up next. Okay, give me the mic with. Is she here right now? Coco. Okay, we gotta go. Okay, so give me the mic with Coco. She's coming up next on FLOEmpireradio.com. It's your boy Zoe, and I'm out. Bye.